A very warm good evening to all of you. Welcome to the 183rd session of Center's webinar series for teachers. I hope all of you are doing keeping safe and staying healthy. And the topic for today's webinar is habits of an effective teacher. And the facilitator for this session is Miss Mary Sebastian. A very warm good evening to you, ma'am, and a warm
Thank you.
welcome to you. Uh, Before I hand over the session to ma'am, a brief introduction about our facilitator, Miss Mary Sebastian. She is an English teacher with 31 years of experience. She has taught in Presentation Convent High School as a English for 12 years, and then was selected to be a part of the Indian delegation to teach at the Ministry of Education Kuwait, where she taught for 19 years before returning to India during the pandemic. Currently, she is employed with 21K school, which is a totally online school with almost 7,500 plus students. A very warm welcome to you, ma'am. Again, before I hand over the session to our facilitator, Miss Mary Sebastian, I would like to inform all the teachers that they will receive participation certificates for the session. So please do fill out the feedback form that will be shared with you towards the end of the session. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Harsha, for the nice and warm introduction, which actually laid out before most of my colleagues, my students, my former colleagues, my life history, my biography. As Harsha said, I taught in presentation, and actually, I was a student of Presentation Convent also. So I have a lot of my friends who are there here. Then I was in the Middle East for 19 years, glorious 19 years in the Middle East. Again, I have lots of teachers from the Middle East. So a warm welcome to all of you. And currently, I'm working with 21K School. You can check the website. It's a totally online school with almost 8,000 students and counting. How are you all today? I'm sure, when Center presents a workshop, an upcoming workshop, most of us are always there I'm always there for every workshop I'm there attending. So a warm welcome once again to each one of you, and thank you for joining me today. I'm not going to teach you or instruct you about anything that is new. Nothing. I'm not going to give you anything from my bag. We all know this, just that we need to have a little bit of brush up. So let me start with a story, and many of you will be familiar with this story where you'll be able to connect your old teachers. Now, let me tell you, I became a teacher not by choice. It was my mother who forced me to become a teacher because my elder sister was a teacher. So she thought that, I would do really well being a teacher. And I have no regrets taking up this profession. So thanks to my mother and thanks to my elder sister, because of which whom I became a teacher today. So I start my story, and the story is written primarily by one of my students of 21K School. Now she says, actually she put me, but I'm changing the name, and she says, Mrs. Sharma had been a teacher for over 20 years, and she had a reputation of being one of the most effective teachers at the school. Her classroom was always filled with laughter, curiosity, and love for learning. She had a unique way of engaging her students using creative and innovating teaching strategies that made her subject, that is my subject, English, come alive. There was Shakespeare in class, there was Wordsworth in class, there was everybody in class. Mrs. Sharma was also a master at building relationships with her students. She took the time to get to know each of them, their strengths, weaknesses, and personal interests. She encouraged them to ask questions, take risks, and be curious about the world around them. Her students loved her class. That's what my student thinks. And look forward to coming to school every day. I'm sure teachers, each and every student of yours finds the same in you. Your classes are appreciated. You are appreciated. So the students, they knew that they were in a safe and supportive environment. When our students took their tests, they consistently performed well above average. But for Mrs. Sharma, grades did not matter. What mattered was the desire to learn. Many of Mrs. Sharma's former students went on to become successful doctors, lawyers, scientists, and artists. They credited their success firstly to their parents and to the teachers, all teachers, for their guidance and mentorship, saying that they had been instilled in them a passion for learning and a belief in their own abilities. How many of you relate to this story where you think of your teachers in the kindergarten, in the primary, in the middle school, in the secondary school? If you do, in the chat box, just write yes or no. Just one word. Just say yes. We understand that you are able to relate to you remember a teacher. You say no, that means you don't remember your teachers. There's nothing bad in it, my dear teachers. Miss Harsha, I think are they typing?
We need to give a minute time, ma'am, for the
No
teachers
problem.
to type in yes. Yes, true. Most of the teachers are telling yes and true, ma'am. There
All
are
right.
pouring
Okay.
of SS and trues in the comment
All right.
box.
Absolutely. So, if I ask you in one word to describe your first teacher, I still remember my first teacher of kindergarten. God rest her soul in peace. What was the first impression of your teacher? Her hairstyle, the way her demeanor, her personality, the way she talked to you. Just one word again, type. What was that attracted you about your teacher? Just one word. Her personality. I would say her personality. My kindergarten teacher was Mrs. Moses. God rest her soul in peace. I remember her still very well.
Ma'am, motherly, gentle, sweet, caring, kind person, kind,
Absolutely.
personality,
Absolutely.
beauty, lovable, benevolence, her
Okay.
personality and knowledge,
Perfect. Perfect.
very soft, dignified, smiley,
All the
pleasant,
answers. All the answers. Okay. So,
caring,
would you
motherly.
call that teacher? Absolutely. We don't count out the other gender also, the male members, because many of my colleagues who are male members, fatherly figure, So I think both the genders are equally important. So we see benevolence, compassion, all these are there in a teacher. So, teachers, will you call your teacher to be an effective teacher? That is the next question. Just write yes or no. Take your time. I'm sure, Harsha ma'am, there are a lot of yeses coming, right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Yes, yes.
We'll just
Pouring
give them
of
a couple.
SS and this thing. Yeah.
Absolutely. Now the ultimate question. Now think, reflect. How many of us, including me, have taken time to reach out to our teachers? I would say no. For me, it's an answer no, straight away. I've been so busy with life, didn't go back and check up on my old teachers, which is a negative thing I feel for myself. If many of you teachers have reached out or are still in touch with your teachers, hats off to you. Hats off to you. So, have you taken time to reach out to your teachers? Just put a yes or no. Or, like me, I will try to.
Ma'am, there are like mixture of all the answers, ma'am. One of the teachers says
Absolutely.
just once. Of course, no, yes. I do have contact right now. Would like to again.
Perfect. 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 Absolutely.
And one of the teacher
So,
says that she messages at least on the Teachers' Day to her teacher.
absolutely. Teachers' Day, we get a plethora. We get Facebook is filled with wishes for teachers for us, and Instagram, everything is filled. So we actually reach out to our teachers on Teachers' Day. But otherwise, we have not. Like I have not gone back to my old teachers. I don't even know where they are, which is not. But that's okay. That's okay. We have all been very busy with our lives. Now, the story ends there. You have a quote here. You'll get a prize, teachers, a virtual prize I'll give you. There is this quote: one child, one teacher, one book can change the world. Please do not Google. Very quickly write the answer. If you don't know, it's absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. Any answers?
Ma'am, as of now, right, that's what one of the teachers says.
I want to know who said this quote. One child,
Malala,
one teacher.
Malala, that is the thing.
Absolutely, absolutely. I give a round of applause. Whoever has written it is one book, one pen, one child, and one teacher can change the world. It is the Nobel laureate 2014 Malala Yousafzai. So each and every teacher who's here right now, we can change the world. Don't wait for others to change the world. It is up to us to change the world. Give a round of applause. Give a round of applause to yourself if you've given the right answer. If you have not, no issues. Absolutely. We are all learning. Let me tell you, teachers, we are all learning. So just remember this quote: one book, one pen, one child, and one teacher can change the world. Each and every one here present today, it is up to us to change the world. How do we change the world? By changing, by transforming the children that are in your hands, the children that you meet offline or online daily. So it's up to each one of us. Do not let others change the world, because a teacher can do wondrous things, wonderful things you can do. Before we go to the habits of an effective teacher, let's quickly see who is an effective teacher. We've just talked about the bare idea of an effective teacher, where we were connecting to our teachers. An effective teacher is knowledgeable, a teacher who has a deep understanding of the subject matter. They can answer questions in the box, out of the box, and as I say, all around the box. So if you don't know the answer, tell your children, we will check it up. I will check it up and get back to you. And teachers, please get back to your students. So the first thing a good teacher, an effective teacher, is knowledgeable. The second thing is be passionate. Teaching is not a job that you can come, okay, I did not get any other job, so let me become a teacher. No, because a teacher makes, creates all professions. So be passionate about your job. Be passionate about going to class. Be, really passionate about taking the class, putting out your best in class, because each and every child is looking up at the facilitator or the teacher as to what you're doing. So be passionate about your profession. Teachers, please be patient. At times, we become very impatient. Give them space, give them time, because remember, they are children. They have not reached our level. So please be patient. Be empathetic. Each and every human being these days is fighting a battle, and little children are fighting lots of battles we don't realize. So be empathetic towards your students. Be empathetic towards your co-workers also. I find most of us are not empathetic towards our co-workers. Please be empathetic towards your co-workers, to your students. Be creative. Pandemic has got us a lot of online tools that you can use. Board and the duster and the chalk. Of course, I love that. Definitely, I love that. We have the smart board. We have tools like Kahoot. We have Padlet. We have Mentimeter. We have so many things that you can Canva. You can do a lot of things. Be creative. Do not be going to class the same mundane, boring lessons, because children can read better than us. Let me guarantee that. Children are more creative than us. So try to be creative in your lessons. Teachers, be organized. How are we going to be organized? You should have an idea. How am I going to do my thing? What is the first thing that I'm going to do in class? What is the second thing I'm going to do in my class? Suppose you're using the smart board and the electricity goes. How am I going to, you should have some backup plan. You can't say, okay, children, the electricity goes, let's all have a break now. No, be organized and be communicative, be flexible, be collaborative. Now, overall, effective teachers are committed to their students' learning and growth. You'll all agree. Can I have a yes or a no? Are we committed to our learning and growth, or are we committed to the growth of others? What are we doing? Yes, that means you're committed to the students' learning and growth. No, I'm committed to my growth. Harsha ma'am, can you just can we give them a couple of seconds to write the
Yes,
answer?
ma'am. They agree, and there are S's, ma'am. Pouring in
Yeah.
of S's and agrees. Yeah.
All right. Now, that's the first thing, that we are committed to our students' learning and growth. We are able to inspire and support them along the way. As I said, each and every one is fighting a battle. Please be inspirations. The other day in my class, I just asked my students, and I always do this, being a teacher. Like my children, my own children, I ask my children, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? They always say, Mom, definitely not a teacher. I asked the same thing 2 days ago in my class. How many of you want to be a teacher? Only one student raised their hand and she said, Miss, I will become a teacher. If you say so. No, I don't say so. You become. So, teachers, we need to inspire children to become good teachers. Support them along the way. Tell them I find teaching to be one of the best jobs because we are creating other professions. But the current generation, the Gen Z generation, they don't want to be teachers. They aspire to be anything, everything except a teacher. So be inspirational. Support them if they are, whatever their plan is, whatever their dream is, please support them. We're talking about habits today. I'm coming to my topic now. Now, habits are something which is automatic, right, teachers? Something that is a routine. So there are some habits like, we get up in the morning, we brush our teeth twice, 3 times, 4 times. Mr. Amitabh Bachchan brushes his teeth, I read somewhere 9 times a day. Good. We make our bed every morning. We try to. Sometimes we don't because we are late. Many of us drink a glass of water, warm water, zira pani, when we wake up. We go for a walk after dinner. I think some of us, including me, we don't do that. But most of us, we check our phone first thing in the morning. This has become a habit for us. So these are habits. What are the habits of an effective teacher? Firstly, please be prepared. Never go to your classes without a lesson plan, because preparation, a teacher who's well prepared, he or she plans ahead. We have specific goals. That is why lesson plans have learning outcomes. What are you expecting? We have specific goals, and please develop strategies that you're going to achieve those goals. What are the strategies? I have a particular specific goal. The children are going to acquire listening skill today. So, what is the strategy I'm going to use for this listening skill? So, have your plan. Never enter class without preparation, because we are not stand-up comedians in class. Just go and just start performing there. No, you have to have a planner. You have to have a to-do list. This 1, 2, 3. Have it organized so that when you go to class, teachers, you will not be at a loss, and always have a plan B. In fact, I always say there are 20 so many alphabets in English, so always have till the end, have a plan Z also now. So it's not plan A, plan B, have at least a couple of extra plans. Suppose if this goes wrong, what am I supposed to do? So be prepared. Now, when I was in the Middle East, one of my colleagues actually told me, her spouse said, if you stand outside the apartment of a teacher, you will know there is a teacher there. Why? Can anyone give me the answer? Can you just write in the chat box what do you think is the answer? How do you come to know there is a teacher in this particular house without actually meeting the person? How would you come to know? Any answers? Harsha ma'am, can you just read a couple of answers?
We need to give a 1 minute time, ma'am, for the
No
teachers to
issues.
type in.
My question is, how would a person standing outside an apartment or outside a house know, they're just, not exactly know, get an idea that, okay, there is a teacher in this class, or you are in a
Loud voice, ma'am. Their voice,
Absolutely,
loud voice, always giving
absolutely correct.
instructions.
Absolutely. I've had this, like, many times people tell me, you're not in class now, don't give us instructions. We all have a loud voice. We cannot be having a very, soft voice, because children will not be able to hear. So love to talk. Teachers, I think, the one, all of us who love to talk are in the right business, right profession. Like, I love to talk, so I know this is the correct job for me. But we have forgotten to listen patiently. That is why teachers, TTT, that is teacher talking time, should be less in class. Listen patiently, listen actively. What do I mean by active listening? Active listening is, pay attention to what the child is saying. Do not be busy correcting your notebook or correcting your assessments, and the child is saying something and the child waits for a response, but the teacher is busy, I'm just giving a partial ear to the child. So please be active listeners. TTT, the triple T's should be reduced. Whether it's in your classroom, whether it is at home, whether it's in the supermarket, please listen patiently. Now, I always want to do that, but the love or the passion for speaking always is there. So let's try to reduce our speaking time, and let's be good listeners. That is one of the qualities of an effective, a good teacher. Maria Montessori says, a good teacher always listens to her students. So let's be good listeners. Be flexible, please. It's not that, you go my way or the highway. We can take any way. We can reach any way. Although you watch the movie Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara, how flexible were they. Went for skydiving, they went for underwater this thing. So be flexible. There is no correct way, right? Each and every individual's path is different. So be flexible, accept everyone. So it's not that, I said like this, so it should be like this. No. And teachers, let me tell you, especially the primary teachers who are here, your children, the way you pronounce a word, they go back home and they tell their parents, my teacher pronounced this word like this. So this is the correct pronunciation. So be very careful how you're behaving, how you're speaking in class, and definitely please be flexible. I'm sure none of us have forgotten 2020, the pandemic, right? Suddenly everything came to a stop, teachers. Did we stop? Did teaching stop? Probably we took a break for, let's say, 1 week, 1 month. Not more than that. Big Blue Button. How many of us had heard of Big Blue Button? I had never heard. So we started classes on Big Blue Button. Then that failed. Then we started classes on Google Meet. That failed. Then we started classes on Zoom. But we were flexible. I'm not going to say, okay, I'm not going to teach because I'm only used to the smartboard or the chalk and the duster. Then teaching would have come to a total standstill for 9 months almost, 1 year in some places. So we all had been flexible. So please be flexible. Organize yourself. The other day, again, I always relate to my experience. I was talking to one of my present colleagues, and she said, her cupboard is always a mess. Mine is also the same. I'm sure many of you teachers will also agree. Our wardrobe is totally a mess, but we want our children to be very organized. Please be organized. Organized in your classrooms, organized in your lessons, organized in the way you are conducting yourself, organized in the way you are dealing with people. So we need to be organized. Organization makes everything very easy, teachers. Absolutely very easy. So kindly, let's try to make an attempt to be organized in our life. It's not difficult. Let me tell you, it's not difficult. But most of us are either overburdened, or we just take it as a matter of fact. We have this, okay, the cupboard is a mess. Fine, that's my cupboard. That's the way I want it to be. Absolutely fine. A lot of people, they don't want us to touch their desks, because they know where they have kept everything. Absolutely fine. That's their space. But we need to be very organized, have place for everything, because your children are looking up at you, especially the junior classes. So organization. Now, this is a self-explanatory, screen. So I do not want to put up any picture here. Now, if you're not able to communicate to your students what you are telling them, what you're instructing, I think that's a total failure as a teacher. So your communication should be clear, concise, precise. Tell them what you want, how you want to do. They need to upload the answers on the platform, write it neatly, 5 sentences, 4 sentences, one word. Give them clear communication, give them clear instructions. So a good teacher always communicates in a clear way. So have your communication. Now, I'm sure there are many of us who are not, probably very good in a particular language. That's absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. You are a master in your own subject. You're a master, but try to brush up your communication skills, because you need to communicate to your children, to your peer co-workers, to your authority, what you're trying to do. So have a clear communication skill. Be very clear in what you're trying to tell them. Have a passion for teaching. When I first joined my old school presentation, it was always my dream to get the Best Teachers Award. Teachers Day, so many teachers in Delhi. I'm basically from Delhi, right now settled in Kerala. So many teachers are felicitated, Best Teachers Award. That is still a dream for me. I always wanted to get the best teachers. Imagine the president bestowing, and the name comes Mrs. Mary Sebastian, best teacher of, wow, that's fantastic. All of us joined this profession, let me tell you, because we had a passion for teaching. Somewhere or the other, some teacher inspired you, teachers. So never forget the teacher you always wanted to be. Remember the first class you took? How many of us were nervous? Like, I was very nervous. I literally had knock knees. Literally had knock knees. So, but day by day, the confidence grew. The confidence grew. So, never let this thing go from your mind. I always wanted to be a good teacher. Am I a good teacher? Self reflect. Because I always find self reflection to be the best tool to find whether your passion for teaching has dwindled or it has upscaled. So have a passion for this profession. Teaching is not a profession, it's not a side profession. Let me tell you one thing. Because you are making children, you're creating the next generation, the next citizens of the world. Now we have this global citizens, right? We have global citizens. We are not talking about only citizen for India or citizen of Middle East or citizen from US. We're talking about global citizenship. Each and every teacher here is instrumental to create this global citizen. That will only come if you have a passion for teaching. So effective teachers, they have a passion for teaching and have a genuine interest in your students. Do not be artificial, because children catch it. So be passionate for teaching, be passionate of teaching. It's a pleasure to be a teacher, it's a blessing to be a teacher. Be positive. My blood group is B positive. All those who've got the blood group B positive, we are already positive. Never look at the dark side of your teaching. Look at the brighter side of your teaching. So always have a positive attitude. A particular child, let's say, just got the border mark, or like maths was never and is never a plus point for me. I still remember I got only 33 in the board exam in grade 10 in presentation, and my mother was so happy, literally so happy. Thank God she passed. That's the positivity. My mother did not say, "Oh, why could you not get 90%? The neighbor's child got 90%." She was so grateful that at least I passed the maths exam. After that, I have not taken maths anywhere, everywhere, now nowhere. So be positive. So look at the bright side of life. Look, why are you chosen to be a teacher? You have been given a great, great responsibility. How many of you in the chat box can you just say that you are positive? Sometimes you're positive, right? Yes, yes. Or just say sometimes. I'll give you a couple of seconds. I'm just asking you these questions just to see that you people have not slept off, because I can't see you people. Harsha ma'am?
Ma'am, most of our teachers are telling yes, they are be positive,
Wow.
always
Wow, wow.
positive.
Yeah, okay. I must
Few
tell
of them say
Renuka ma'am.
mostly, yeah,
Hmm.
mostly sometimes you have really she is positive enough, always positive. Sometimes, mostly, yes, ma'am. These are
All
the
right.
S. Actually, S's are more. Yeah.
More. But I'm sure teachers in somewhere along the line, somewhere, let's say your superior, your boss got upset. You prepared a lesson very well, really very well. But your boss, instead of complimenting you, there was some loophole. You could have done this, or this didn't go well. Of course, confidence just dwindles, literally dwindles. But if you are taking it in a positive way, the person, my boss said this because he or she wants me to be better, wants me to improve. Take it in that sense, teachers, then trust me, everything is absolutely fine. But if I'm going to say, why did she say this to me? I teach so well, I'm perfect. None of us are perfect, let me tell you. In teaching, nobody's perfect. If you come to my class, you'll find 10,000 loopholes in my class. The same goes for me. If I come to your class, we will find a lot of nitty mistakes. But at the end of the day, let's be positive. Any feedback given to you, take it with a pinch of salt. Take it because they want you to improve. So please try to be positive. The other day, when I told somebody, the person asked me, should I go and get my blood group changed? No. Don't drain out all your A negative, A positive blood and put B positive. That will not make you a positive person. It has to come from inside. Positivity has to come from inside. So try to be positive. Have high expectations for yourself, not only for the children. Have high expectations for yourself. I did this like this. Next class, I should do it 90% better. Then I should do 100% better. I should do it 120% better. Like, we motivate students. Ramu, you got 50 marks. Very good. Next time, let's try to get 60 marks. The same way, if Ramu, Harsha, Renuka, Karthik, all of them, we have, we are setting high expectations. Why not set high expectations for yourself? So have an expectation for yourself also, that next class I will try to make sure that I'm doing this well. This should go well. I will try to put 50% better, 60%, 100%, maximum better, maximum my potential. So have a high expectation, not only of your students. For each one of us, we should set a target for ourselves. Reflection. Reflect on your teaching. Once we finish class, I still remember the chalk and the duster. When you finish class and you go to the staff room, you sit back, take a moment. Okay, how was the class? Was it good? Okay, it was good. It was not so good. I could have done better. I should not have got angry. Write it down. Write it down. There are so many moments, so many times we get angry at people for no reason whatsoever. For no reason. A child is just passing a pencil. All right, John, what are you doing there? Why are you talking? Now listen to, why did I get angry? John was being helpful, passing a pencil to the person who's sitting next to him. But I got angry, not realizing John was doing a good deed. So reflect on your actions. Think, sit down, reflect. How did my class go? Did I follow the lesson plan rules, or did I deviate? Deviation is absolutely fine, but do not forget that main track. So reflection and self-reflection is one of the best ways to become an effective teacher. Have positive reinforcement. Like we give stars to children. I always like to do, like, for the first time in my life, I'm teaching grade 2 and grade 3. Now, whenever they come on screen, now since I'm in an online school, the person who comes first in class, joins the class first, I give them a star. Trust me, teachers, everyone wants to come to get that star on Zoom. The same way, when your boss says, Mary, this was excellent, that's a reinforcement. So give positive feedback to your fellow colleagues, give positive feedbacks to yourself also. Wow, Harsha, this was fantastic. I think this was one of the best classes that you have taken. Keep it up. Tap yourself, give a pat on your back. Don't wait for the whole world to come and pat you, because everyone is busy. So give yourself, wow, Mary, fantastic. This was one of your amazing classes. Let's go. Let me go and self treat myself. Let me go out and have some fun times. So let me enjoy myself. So positive reinforcement is not only good for students, for teachers also. I have a lot of head of departments from various continents who are joining. Please give positive reinforcement to teachers. You give 3 positive reinforcement and give them 1 negative remark. Trust me, the positivity will be lingering, and they will try to reduce the negative remark. They will try to do better, just to get that positive thing from you. So please encourage your colleagues, give positive reinforcement, not only to students, to your colleagues, even to your boss. You can say, wow, today's sports day was fantastic. Wow, we are so proud as a team, we did well. It is commendable, let me tell you, teachers. So give yourself reinforcement. Never say, oh, Mary, you could have done this better. You are a total, I've heard some people telling, you are a total failure as a teacher. Let me tell you, fail, according to me, is first attempt in learning. None of us are failures. We are all here because we are truly teachers. Let me tell you, teaching is not a profession, it's a profession. Of course, we get remuneration, but it is also a vocation, because you are making others people, you're creating other professions. So give reinforcement, but never give negative reinforcement. Don't say, all right, John, you could have done this, this was very bad. John, this test was really bad. That's why, in the report cards, we don't give negative. We've applied the sandwich, method, that, you start with a positive, put in the salad, the spinach or the lettuce in the middle, and then cover it up with a positive one. So a positive feedback, squeeze in the negative in a nice, melodramatic way. Do not do it harshly. And then put the burger, you know, in spite of all this, she is an asset to the class. The same way, give positive reinforcement to yourself. Take time to, celebrate your success as a teacher. Each and every day of our life, our career as a teacher should be celebratory. Do not wait for Teachers' Day to celebrate teachers. No. Each and every class that you finish, wow, Mary, one class more, 20 students, fantastic, 20 global citizens. Wow, 40 students, 40 global citizens. You did a good job. You did it. So give positive reinforcement to yourself. Celebrate your student success and celebrate your success also. Not only your student success, but your success. So be celebratory. Have a passion for teaching, and all this comes in teachers, let me tell you. Now, NEP, I don't know how many of you are aware of it. 2020 NEP says each and every teacher should, this is the proposed thing, we should have 50 hours of continuous professional development. And that is why they set up the National Professional Standard for Teachers, that is the NPST. Teachers, how many of you have actually, now the year is going to come to an end. Center conducts once a week. I'm not marketing for Center, definitely. Once a week, Center conducts professional development workshop sessions like this, which are absolutely free. Explore the Center website. There are courses, there are mini courses. You should be learning continuously. If we were not learning continuously, teachers, pandemic, many of us would not have been able to make our classes a success. We learned hands-on training, how to share screen, how to use the Padlet there, how to, put emojis there, how to chat on Zoom, whether it's a Google Meet or whether it's the Zoom platform or the big blue button. We learned. Schools gave us training for that. So continuous learning is mandatory, and let me tell you, it is going to be reinforced very soon. All schools will be asked to submit certificates of the learning that the teachers have done. And one very good platform where it's absolutely free is Center. Every Thursday, just log into YouTube. You'll get a workshop being conducted, and then you get a feedback form. Now I know a lot of teachers. What they do is, this came to my notice. They just join because they want the paper. They just want the certificate. But let me tell you one thing: whom are we cheating? Because you have children who are looking up at you. What new are you going to teach them? So if you are attending a session, kindly be there. Can I have on how can you just chat all those people who are there? I cannot see how many of you are there. Can you just chat how many of you got, let's say, 20 hours of PD class? You attended 30 hours, 40 hours. Just give me the number. Let me see the number. I will give you I'll give you a positive reinforcement. Let's see who's getting the highest. Anybody above 50? Kudos. The school, you can just type your school's name also. Absolutely.
Ma'am, Manjula ma'am says 40 hours. Sangeeta ma'am says 104 hours. Anuradha ma'am says
Wow.
30 hours.
Who
Hema
said
Malini
who
ma'am
said
says
1 minute? Who said 104 hours?
uh,
Manjula ma'am. Wow.
Sangeeta ma'am
Century.
104
Century.
hours. Yeah.
I think Virat Kohli ko bolna padega. Century. Fantastic. Wow.
Most of
104.
the teachers are more than 35, 40 hours, ma'am.
Very
Most
good.
of them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Now,
This is
now few teachers are telling 50 hours completed and above 50 hours.
absolutely. Please, learning never stops. Give yourself a round of applause. I am hats off to you, teachers, especially the person who was broken up 50 and above. Hats off. Because schools are very serious about professional development now. And with the NEP in action, 50 hours is going to be now, it's very soon, it's going to come into the pipeline. So schools will be asked, kindly ask your teachers to share, what are the professional development classes they've done, how many hours have they done. Then don't say, I didn't know about it. Because we are all supposed to be aware what is the NEP 2020 telling us about our development. You might be having a postgraduate. I'm sure all of us here are postgraduates or graduates with a B.Ed. Learning is not stopping, because in our B.Ed, we were not taught, so many years down, there will be a pandemic. How are you going to conduct the classes? We were not taught that. Nobody told us how to take a class online, how to be happy online. No. So, continuous learning should always be there. Teachers, please do not stop learning, because you are adding, all the knowledge to your experience, to your expertise, and taking it back to the children. I repeat, you're taking it back to the children. So the child takes it home. So you give it to the child takes it back home. The parents discuss, the teacher today, she did this fantastic thing in class. Wow. So learning should never stop. And really, hats off to teachers, all those teachers. I literally congratulate you. 50 hours, 30 hours, 40 hours. Fantastic. Remember, we are doing this with our lesson plans, with traveling, going to class, taking substitution, managing household chores, and our social commitments. So if you've had time to sit down to a session, once again, kudos to you. So learning should never stop. Collaborate. Please work together. You remember the story हमने बचपन में सुना था, the story, a father gives to four sons 4 sticks. He asks them to break it one by one. It breaks very easily. He puts all the four together. Difficult to break. No one person can succeed. It is a teamwork. Together we can achieve much more. There is no I always say in meetings, wherever, there is, don't say I want it like this, we want it like this. It should be we, because we are a team. A school is not one individual. It's not the, in the authority, if you go to in the hierarchy, it's not the boss which is The school is comprising of all the students, the teachers, the support staff, everyone. So collaborate with each other, work together, listen to each other. It's a teamwork. Share your knowledge with each other. Don't hide your lamp under the bushel. A lamp is not supposed to be, hide it under the bed. The lamp is supposed to spread light. So spread light, spread your knowledge. Today I learned this, I read this. Let me share with my team. Don't say, okay, if I share with my team, she will say that this is, or he will say it is their or his idea. No, no, not at all. Share your ideas with teachers. Now, I'm going to very quickly tell you some strategies that can help you become an effective teacher. Teachers, once again, I'm just speaking from my experience. I'm sure most of you are doing it, and most of us are trying to do it. Like, I still believe I'm still learning. So, first thing is always have a positive learning environment. Do not carry your negativity to your classroom. You might have had a bout with your spouse, with your children, with the bus driver, the metro driver, metro conductor, whatever. The moment you enter your classroom, the moment you enter the premises, please leave everything outside. We have stopped smiling at each other. We are very serious. No. Take your positivity, leave the negative, leave the trash outside. Have clear expectations. What are you going to achieve? So the first one, positive learning environment. Second one, have a clear expectation. Use various teaching methods. Do not just be concentrating on using the smart board or PowerPoint presentation, or take different things. I tried Kahoot, I tried Padlet, Mentimeter. I'm still learning. One of my students taught me Mentimeter. Take them, and they're so excited. The poll. Use variety of teaching methods, and provide timely feedback. If an assignment or an assessment is submitted to you, make sure next class you submit it to the student. Do not be taking it for months altogether, days altogether, because the child wants to know how he or she has done. Instructions, differentiate instructions. You have slow learners, you have children with special needs, you have over smart children, you have smart children. Vary your instruction. Do not only have hots in class, higher order thinking skills. What will the children with special needs, how are they going to be doing it? Have a variety of instructional methods. Develop a relationship with your child. The moment you see a student sad today, ask, Anubhav, what happened to you? Why are you so sad? Is everything okay? Trust me, teachers, children they want the teacher to notice that they are happy or they're sad. Why are you so happy today? Oh, my dad bought a new car. And I asked the student, was it a Lamborghini? And I said, I pronounced the word Lamborghini wrong, and the child, grade 2, ma'am, it is like this. And I said, wow, he's connected. It was fantastic. Have a relationship with your students. Develop yourself professionally. Just dressing up nicely or, wearing daily different outfit is not. We need to professionally develop our teaching. Reflect on your teaching. Sit back, take time. 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Today, I'm going to just write down. Many of us have diaries. If you don't have a diary, please start writing small notes, short notes like, what happened today. And after a couple of years, when you look at your diary, oh, this really happened with me. And you'll laugh at it, You'll really. So reflect in your teaching, write it down. Invite other teachers to come to your class. Record your lessons. When you listen back to your lessons, you'll realize, we are talking always, all the time, every time we are talking. The child makes one chew in the class and we're saying, why is this class making so much of noise? I remember many years ago, the word was, am I in a fish market? And then that word is banned now. That word is banned. We don't use it anymore these days. So reflect on your teaching. Be empathetic towards your children. Stay positive. Good teachers are essential for student success. Students cannot be successful without the support of a teacher. And let me tell you, a teacher plays a vital role in shaping the future of society by inspiring and educating. The entrepreneurs that we have these days, there are many of them. If you most of you who are watching Shark Tank, they give credit to their teachers. Many times I've heard Shark saying, my teacher was like this. Let teachers be remembered in a positive way, not my teacher was so bad. No, we learn to inspire your students, because we are educating the next generation to be leaders and innovators. And finally, I want to tell each and every teacher here, you're doing a good job. Let me tell you, you're doing a fantastic job. So hats off to you. Hats off to you managing multitasking. I'm sure many of us are mothers here. Many of us are daughters here, brothers here, fathers here, husbands here. You are doing a fantastic job. Kudos to each one of you, and keep it up. Happy teaching, happy learning. Learn to smile. Learn not to be so serious. And let's be an effective, constructive, supportive, and inspirational teachers. The word teacher is no longer used. We are all facilitators now. So let's be inspirational, instructional, effective, empathetic facilitators. Thank you, teachers, once again for joining me today. And I would like to thank Center for giving me the opportunity, reaching out to me, asking me if I was willing to do this session with the entire team. So thank you once again. Harsha, thank you for being the fantastic host that you have been. So hats off to you also, Harsha. Thank you so much, teachers.
Yes, ma'am. It's time to take few questions, ma'am.
Sure.
Waiting for the teachers to type in their questions about
Don't
the
ask me
session,
recipes.
about the
Don't
topic.
don't ask me recipes, huh? Teachers, don't ask me recipes, because I'm a very bad cooker. So if you ask me some recipe, I will not be able to give you a recipe. Harsha, shall I stop sharing?
I will put it in the back end, ma'am.
Yeah.
Let it be there. Yeah.
Yeah. Teachers, feel free to ask anything. If I'm aware of the answer, I will definitely try to give an honest answer.
Ma'am, many of the teachers are telling they have crossed 225. One of the teachers says 225 hours, PDRs.
Wow.
And
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
one,
Fantastic.
150, 170, 105, 120. It goes on, ma'am. Ma'am, we have a question here.
Yeah.
Can you share the last adjectives you have used?
Okay.
Yeah.
This one? She wants the strategies, or
Ma'am, she has put that's it, ma'am. Can you please
okay.
share the last
Okay.
adjective you have used?
Last adjective. Okay. Is it continuous learning, collaboration? Can she just
I
put the
think you
word?
can run the slides, ma'am, from
Yeah, I will.
strategies. That would be
Yeah, from
helpful to the
strategies. Yeah.
teachers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can take a screenshot, or you can take it on your mobile.
You can be on this slide for a minute or two, ma'am.
Yeah. Sure.
Uh,
Sure. Sure.
yeah.
Sure. Sure. Shall I change the slide, Harsha?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yeah. Ma'am, Elizabeth ma'am is telling adjective facilitator.
Okay, she wants to know the meaning of the word facilitator, or what is it? What adjective
No,
is it?
ma'am. She's complimenting you
Okay.
with,
Oh, thank you.
with an adjective facilitator.
Oh, thank you so much.
Ma'am, there is a question by Raina Singh, ma'am.
Hmm?
She's asking how to give effective feedback to the teacher without hurting sentiments.
Very good question, and I'm sure this person is somewhere in the team leader department, right? Now, how do we tell our children? How do we give effective feedback to our children? To our own children. Imagine, the child is performing in some, let's say, a reality show, and the child was not up to the mark. How do the judges say, you did well, but the word but is very significant here. So tell your teachers, everything went off very well in the class. I actually enjoyed your class. uh, Everything, you used effective methods, you used variety of tools, your class was very interactive. I feel, this is only my suggestion, if you had asked a student to come and write the answer on the board, it would have been effective. But don't say to the teacher, you should have. That word you should have is like giving a command. Clean, you should clean the car. That's a command. That's a tone, is totally a command, a commanding tone. Let me remind once again the people in the hierarchy. All the teachers who are working with, we are working with, all are very highly qualified. They all know their work. We just need to give them the positive reinforcement to be, constructive in class. So give them a positive. You want to say negative things, as I said, the sandwich approach. Have the burger, positivity, everything that went off well. Put the onion piece in between. You could, this, I feel, if this was done, only my suggestion, if this was done in a better way, this way, it might have been, but this is only my suggestion. And then, but on the whole, a very interactive class. Again, the burger comes down. So adopt the sandwich approach, where you are giving feedback, but try to give feedback थोड़ा प्यार से दो. Don't don't I know lot of people who ridicule teachers, in public. Please, teachers should be respected. That is why in the northern side, even in the south, when we used to meet our Hindi teachers in B.Ed in Delhi University, we used to literally touch their feet, because they are next to, they are supposed to be revered. So when you are giving instructions to your teachers, do it in a politer way. Do it in a politer way. Please do it in a politer way, because it hurts. We are all human beings after all. I think all of you agree. So I don't want, after so many years, people tell me, and honestly, whatever is told to me, I accept it. Times I feel, now you're telling me this after 3 decades of teaching, but then I want to improve. I want to improve. I'm not putting my hats down. I'm not going to give up teaching. So I want to improve. So give it in a politer way, please, please, please be polite. Be respectful to your teachers, because they deserve it. Definitely, they deserve it. I hope I've answered your query.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you for the reply, ma'am. Bharti ma'am is asking how to engage the students with learning difficulties in a normal classroom.
Very good question. Right now, as I told you, I'm in 21K. That's an totally online class, and I have children with different abilities. Now, when I was teaching in an offline class, also especially in the Middle East, I had children of various abilities. Now, a child who's a special needs child would not be able to sit in class for 40 minutes. The child would want to go out, and we allow them, give them the space. Ask, child wants to go out, tell them you can go around, just interact with your fellow students. Give them space, give them give them the freedom of space, give them time to adjust to the same. Do not put them in the same basket like the other children, because they need to be handled with care. Please, children with special needs, we need to handle them with care. And I can proudly say that joining this particular school, 21K, I am relating to so many children of various abilities. Various, and kudos to all the teachers, offline, online, especially the kindergarten teachers. Hats off to you. Hats off to you. How you cater to the different, able children. You have slow learners, you have hyperactive children, you have the child who is very, doesn't want to take the initiative, everything. So be very patient, give them space, talk to them. You remember, I don't know how many of you remember this video which was viral a couple of months ago, where a KG or a class 1 student, the teacher is saying, मैं तुमसे बात नहीं कर रही, and he's saying, sorry teacher, मैं आगे नहीं करूँगा, नहीं, and the teacher is, see, that is what teacher student relationship should be. So that's why I always say, have a relationship with your children, give them space, try to understand them. I've had so many times people telling me, you can't do this. For me, there is no word no in my dictionary, because no means for me next opportunity. The same way, each and every child in your class, these are children, these are flowers, they need to bloom. Do not suppress them, please. So if it is a special needs child, they need extra care, extra pampering, they need extra attention. Try it out. Give them a star. All right, today I'm going to give Abhi. He's the star of the class. Trust me, it works wonders. Trust me. I'm speaking from my 6 months experience. It works wonders. It works wonders. I hope I've answered your query.
Yes, ma'am. Definitely, it was yes, ma'am. Thank you, Miss Mary Sebastian, for a very engaging and informative session for our community of teachers. I am sure that our teachers have got a lot of takeaways from this informative and interesting session of yours, ma'am. Thank you so much, all the participants, for engaging with us today. To register for more such upcoming webinars, please visit my center. Thank you once again.
Ms.